What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I'm going to be breaking down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to be breaking down what's going on with the economic calendar, what data is coming out for tomorrow that could affect the markets, and what I predict is going to happen to SPY and these tickers over the next couple of trading days and the next couple of weeks. But before I break anything down all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. So anyways, let's talk about what's going on with the market and how things are looking. Looking at SPY, this was very, very interesting. We had this flag that was forming, and we ended up actually getting a sell-off when we opened up. Very, very sideways price action. Then we all of a sudden got this very monstrous bounce pushing us up to this 456 area. SPY was looking quite strong up here. Then this thing got a rejection, came back down before getting bought right back up, and then it's currently above the wedge. However, even if we do get more upside thanks to this, I don't really trust it in my opinion. I think that ultimately I've been saying that there's likely going to be some downside coming, especially as we approach the first few weeks of December. But for the super short term, I don't know for sure if the downside is going to start. It may take a couple of days. I think that December 1st is when it's going to really start. And until then, there is a possibility we may get like one more push up back to like the 455s, 456.5. We could even go higher to like 457.5. I think that anywhere between 455 to 460, somewhere in this range, wherever we end up peaking, whether the peak is in or not, anywhere between here is a good short opportunity for the next couple of weeks. And I think that SPY is eventually going to try to fill its first gap, or at least retrace to 445 over the next couple of weeks. I see that happening. And I think that we're just seeing more opportunities coming. Even if we get one more nice spike, that would be very nice and a very, very good entry. So that's how I basically view SPY. I did mention earlier that we might see another pump coming to SPY. I said that in my previous video, and I still hold that conviction that it is possible for there to be one more pump. But either way, I don't think that's going to be the ultimate move. I didn't really mean it that way. Whether we get one more pump back up to like 457 or not, right? That's just another shorting opportunity for like the more for the more medium term for the next couple of weeks. And if we don't get it, if we just kind of like stall here and we just trade sideways at 455, that's also another good short opportunity, right? It all depends on how high we go, and that's going to be dictated by data and other factors like that. So what factors will affect us? Just as a reminder, most of the data that came out today was quite moderate, but moving forward, I just want to remind you all that for tomorrow, we have the GDP growth rate estimates coming out for the second quarter. We'll be watching this an hour before the market opens to see how the numbers look. I'll be talking about this as well. Not to mention the fact that we have the PCE estimates coming out, and then PCE data comes out for Thursday, followed by more Fed speakers and initial jobless claims. And finally, for Friday, we have the ISM manufacturing data and then Jerome Powell's speech. I think that Friday, December 1st, is when we're going to really see SPY tank. I think that the ISM manufacturing data might contribute to that downside move. And then alongside Jerome Powell's speech, I think that's when the market's going to start to shift, because typically the monthlies, when the market has like changes coming to its algos, the structures, I think that's we tend to see this start during the first of the month, and the ISM manufacturing data could be like one of the biggest factors. During the latest, I believe it was the FOMC minutes, the Fed said that they're going to be paying close attention to the ISM numbers and also the PMI. So I think that this could be the thing that really pivots the markets. And I think that this is when we're going to start to see more selling. And I think that until we approach December 1st, we have just like 2 more days, right? We have Wednesday and Thursday. It's still possible for SPY to range trade up here, maybe even push up a little bit more. If that happens, I just see that as nothing more than just another shorting opportunity. And that is not financial advice, by the way. But that's just the way I see it. I just want to be as clear and honest as possible. Moving forward, just to call these out, there's not really anything for earnings for Tuesday, but for Wednesday, we have Foot Locker, Dollar Tree, and just a couple of others. We also have Snow and CRM. If you're interested in trading any of these, it's up to you. And for Thursday, we have TD Bank, we have Big Lots, Dell, and just a couple of others. We'll be watching these earnings to see if this causes anything. And I know a lot of people are very convicted in those, especially for Dell. The Fear and Greed Index may get very close to the extreme level if we do pump a little bit more, but I'm not going to trust buying at these high levels when others are greedy. That's not the time to become way too greedy as well. That's the time to be a little bit more fearful. And I think that this is the time to just be very, very cautious. We're seeing market momentum at extreme greed. Greed is just making up the markets right now. Even the put and call positioning is on extreme greed. We're just seeing so many calls being bought. People think the market's going to explode, and this is just when they're going to give us the rug pull. So once again, let's now just go over how I see this playing out. It's very simple, guys. Starting around December 1st, I think this is when the market might pivot. It could even start earlier. I see downside coming nonetheless. But before we get the move to the downside, okay, before we see the pullback, I've been saying this for quite some time, looking at these bearish divergences and such. The daily is looking weaker too, but we technically got a green close today. SPY ended up pushing at the end, and we managed to close and hold up above this like channel. So there could be one more push coming. If we manage to hold above 455, watch 455.5. If we keep pushing, watch the high around 456.25, 456.4. And if we break above all that, we could even go up to 457. All right, that's fine. But I'm not buying up there. I'm not buying the market going long up there. That's where I'm going to be shorting. If it does get one more push to these high levels, if it fails to do so, if we just chop around the 455s, fine with me, right? I'm willing to short and hold my positions for a few weeks out. I'm completely fine with anything, and I'm very indifferent as of right now. That's not financial advice, but if it pops more, that's a shorting opportunity. If it doesn't do so, if it just chops around a bit, that's still another shorting opportunity because we're well above where we're likely going to be in 2 weeks, in my opinion. And where do I think the market's going to go? I'm going to switch over to the daily chart here. I suspect the daily is currently showing a 20 EMA at 445. I think that's going to be our first target. I think we're going to be at 445 within 2 weeks. And if that fails us, we're going to fill this gap. And I think we were probably just going to fill this gap. I think we're going to be testing our 50 EMA. This has been like uptrending a bit slowly uptrending for the last couple of weeks. This could be very close to where our next EMA is going to be. I think that we might at least get down to 440 or so. 438 is also where our 50 EMA happens to be. I think 440 should be coming. We could even drop below that. Either way, I'll be targeting around 445 to 440, somewhere around there. And I think that we're going to see a sell-off. It could even be more aggressive, but it's not going to last forever. It's going to likely just last, approaching FOMC into the middle of December before we see a nice bounce. So I see this as an opportunity. If we pump a little bit higher, it's just another short opportunity. We have the market at a very, very overbought state. The market's due for a pullback. We have bearish divergences still in the process of developing, and we could even turn this triple bearish divergence on SPY into a quadruple bearish divergence. I would love to see that. If we get one more push to the upside towards like 457, if that happens, right? If there's like a 457 push up, what's going to likely happen is this will turn from a triple to a quadruple bearish divergence. And then that's going to be even more convincing to me that there's going to be a big sell-off. So everything is still pointing in that direction if we get one more pump or not. If we pump again, it's just a fake pump, and then that's pretty much it. Now let's talk about Tesla. I'm going to be kind of quick with the rest of these. I think I took a little too long talking about SPY. But on Tesla, it looks bullish. There's nothing bearish about the chart thus far, other than the fact that the 4-hour RSI is at 73 almost. I would say that this looks bullish. If anything, it looks bullish. It's going to likely see some upside. If you look at this on the daily time frame, the daily is also looking quite bullish simultaneously. If this high breaks right over here, we're going to be looking for a push up for 250. If that breaks as well, you're going to be looking for another push up towards 250. This is like around 252. Then we have like 260 coming next above that. I could see it getting very close to 260 if we keep going. It looks bullish. There's nothing, in my opinion, that looks like it's going to stop. And I think that it's going to continue to push approaching the Cybertruck events. We got a nice breakout. We were talking about this earlier. I think we're going to be watching to see if we can get above like 250. If it does so, there's not much stopping it to go up to like 257 to 260. And it can definitely do that. But before we turn too bullish or anything like that, the best thing to do is just be a little patient on Tesla, because even if Tesla pushes higher, that's awesome, that's great. But don't forget about the saying, buy the rumors, sell the news. After the Cybertruck events, Tesla could still make its way back down. So right now it looks bullish. Let's see if we can break 250 and then start pushing for like 255, 257 and beyond. And it looks bullish. There's nothing that's really changing my conviction just yet. For the QQQ, same thing as SPY. I am bearish on the QQQ overall for the next few weeks, but it is possible we get one more push up This is just another shorting opportunity. Wall Street's going to be shorting, in my opinion. I think they're just trying to like grab more liquidity first. This looks bearish, but regardless of if this head and shoulders is going to play out or not, I don't know for sure. We're either going to start falling from here for the next few weeks, and we're going to see this thing just retrace and start filling its gap down to like 380. I think it's like at 378, but basically it's going to test 380, if not lower levels than that. So for a very, very nice drop, this could be a good entry. Or like SPY, it might pop a little bit more, retest 391, maybe it goes up to 393 again. That's fine. I'm going to be looking at this as an opportunity. If it does pop more, that's just a shorting opportunity, non-financial advice, and then it's going to come right back down, or it could just come back down from here. It is possible to get a fake pump though, so it might hold up at least for the time being and then sell off starting to December 1st, or it might not. It could just like pump a little bit more and then do so. Either way, I see downside. If it pumps more, I still think it's going to reject and come back down over the next few weeks. If it stalls here and trades sideways, it's going to eventually come down anyways. So it doesn't matter to me. I see downside. My opinion has not changed. Nvidia had potential to bounce, but now it's looking a little bit weaker because it ended up retesting its low and it's just not holding up nicely. So Nvidia could hold up for another few days, kind of like rebound towards 482 or so, but it looks still bearish. It's still failing. This inverse head and shoulders might just end up failing. Look for a little pop on Nvidia, then a drop and rejection. If it loses 474, watch it come down towards 468. And then if 468 fails, it's going to start sinking down towards our. Let me just double check this. The daily 200 EMA, I remember, happens to be around not the 200 EMA on the daily. I think it's the 4 hour. Let me just double check that. Uh, the last time I checked it, yeah. So the 4 hour 200 EMA, not the daily. The daily is like way too low. But if we lose 468, you're gonna be watching this EMA at 461.6. That's gonna be our next target on Nvidia if it does end up breaking down. It looks bearish now. It could pop first and then drop, but I see just like for the QQQ, for SPY, etc., some downside coming over the next couple of weeks. That's pretty much it for the main four. Now we just have Aapl before I'm going to end the video kind of early. I'll just go over a few others. Aapl has a slanted head and shoulders, could pop a little bit, retest 190.5, maybe even 191, but I still think it looks bearish. I'd be surprised if it tries to break this high. It doesn't really look like it has enough juice to do so. So it's looking like there's not enough volume, not enough momentum for it to do so. Could pop a little bit, could retest 190.5, sure, and it's going to likely reject and make its way back down, all the way back down towards 185. If we lose 188, that's going to be confirmation of a breakdown. So 188 is going to be key support. If we lose 189, we're going to likely come back down there. And I see this thing just dropping anyways. So look for a little pop and drop or a drop from here. I anticipate some downside nonetheless. I'm going to end the video kind of quick, but I just want to go over a couple of others really quick. So if you look at the IWM, if we end up losing 176.9, it's going to start sinking towards 174. I anticipate some downside for that. Looking at Microsoft, we have a quadruple. This is like a quadruple bearish divergence turning into like an even stronger bearish divergence. If anything, it's even more than that. This is looking like even worse. What would you say? It's just whatever, guys. It just looks bearish to me. So could this push up a little bit more? Yes, it can. We could see 385. It could push up a little bit higher, but then I see a big rug pull coming. We're going to see a big drop coming to Microsoft. And I think that it could be making its way back down towards 373 or so. So I anticipate some downside that's coming. Looking at something else such as AMD, it's no different in my opinion. It still has this triple bearish divergence. If we end up losing 116, watch it come down towards this 112 area. I think it's going to break down soon. I might pop first towards 125 and then reject, or reject from here to see some downside. The VIX is going to bounce soon. Now, it's going to remain low for a few more days, okay? But it's going to bounce in the future. I think it's going to make its way back up to 15 plus. It might sell off a little bit here. It might kind of like drop a little bit more. I'm going to be looking for a nice bounce. I think that this is a very good opportunity. The dollar is going to bounce too soon. We're approaching 102.5. We're forming a bullish divergence on the dollar. This is a triple bullish divergence that's forming on the 4 hour. Could drop a little bit more for a few more days before we get a nice bounce by December, and I think that's going to happen. Coinbase is very overbought. I think it's going to pull back soon. It's actually approaching this like 130 resistance right over here. You guys can see this. I'm going to zoom out a little bit more. I have to go all the way back. I might have to go to the weekly charts instead real quick. So I have to go all the way back, but you can see historically right here, this is very close to where we were. We have this resistance right here Right here. I was just trying to find it. I think it's right here. Basically, between 128 and 131, we have some tight resistance. It could push a little bit more. If we break that, then the next level is going to be like 140. But I think that between 130 and 140, it's going to reject basically very soon. And it needs to cool off because it's very overbought. I think that Google could try to pop a bit more, but between 140 and 142 is a good shorting opportunity. I think it's eventually going to reject and come back down towards the 131 area or even below that. So I still anticipate, some downside. On Amazon, I'm seeing the same thing. Amazon could reject. We have a head and shoulders like structure. Amazon could pop one more time and then start dropping. I think it's going to be making its way down to 142. May take a few more days though. If we get one more pop, we still have a triple bearish divergence on it. Could pop a little bit more than reject or reject from here. Either way, I just see some downside coming. Same thing for Meta. I know Meta's trying to bounce, but could be forming a head and shoulders with the left shoulder here, the head and like the right shoulder forming. So we could push up towards 340, then reject and start coming down towards 334, or it could just reject to see some downside. All right, guys, that's it for the video. I want to keep this one kind of quick. I think it is possible for there to be another pop. It's a possibility, but not a guarantee. And I'm not going to be buying, going long way up here. If we pump a little bit more, I see it as a fake pump, a bull trap. And I think that there's going to be some more downside coming starting around December. And if it doesn't happen that early, maybe it could happen, earlier. It is what it is, right? But I still anticipate and hold my same conviction. Either the market pops a bit more, then we see a sell-off, or we're about to sell off from where we currently are. But I anticipate we're ultimately going to get a pullback very, very soon. I just want to clarify that. We could get one more pump on SPY, a fake pump, before we get the downside. I just wanted to make that as clear as possible. All right, guys. Nothing I said is financial advice. Do not copy me. It's your own decision. I want to be as clear as possible. Do what you have to do, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks again, and peace out.